Hi fam, welcome to vlog number 9. We're just here in my office and we're just going to look at our goals for next year, our running goals for next year, and try and map out a few of these runs that we want to do. Now, what is the goal? That's the question. So last year I did 12 half marathons. This year I did 8 full marathons, back to back, so back to back weekends. And next year the goal is to do 12 100 kilometer runs. Now that's one a month. And with regard to the goal, it's sort of changing. So I have that as a set goal, but I have a stretch goal that I'm thinking about doing. And the stretch goal is to increase by 10K every month. So January, 100K, February, 110, March, 120, so on and so forth, until we get to the end of the year, which will be December, and we do 220. 210, 220, 220. So I've already looked at where that one's going to be. If I did do that, that would be from Bathurst, which is out in the country, back to the city. And the reason I want to do that run from there to the city is one, because it's the best route, but also I want to be finishing the run at the Opera House, or at least at the Harbour Bridge for the fireworks that will go from 2004 to 2025. So finish off with a bang, I guess. So we're here on Map My Run, and we're looking for 100 kilometer runs, or if not, a little bit further. Now I've got a few options where I've done some of my marathons this year, and the first one would be from Bondi to Manly, which is 80K. Now that's a mapped out route already. It's along the coast. It's not actually from through the traffic, obviously. It's along the coast, and that's 80K, and that's an actual event that happens every year in October. And you have an app that you can use. You can follow the app as you're running. It's more of a trail run as well. So that's 80K. So what we can do is we can do 50 one way, and then obviously 50 back. And we can do any type of distance like that. 60 one way, then do 120 back, 70, 140 back, 80, 160 back, etc. So that's the first option. I'll probably start my 100K with that in January. Another option that I've got as well is where I used to work, or where I used to teach. There's a 1 kilometer park. Okay, well, there's a park there that has a circumference of 1K. And one of my thoughts was to do that 100 times, or do that lap 100 times. Maybe 110 times, 120 times, depends on when I do that. So that's another option as well. The other one is out by Drummoyne, which is the Bay Walk or Bay Run, which is a 7K loop. Now I did a 42K there. I did a 30K, a 42K there, and I did a 50K there about a month ago. So that would be 15 laps of that. So that would be another one that I could do. I could do those 3 twice. That'll make it 6 of those runs, and obviously make it a little bit longer depending on what month I do it in. Another one, actually, I've got there's another one, the fourth one, which is on the M7. So the M7, there's a bike track that a lot of cyclists use. A lot of people walk on it, run on it as well. And when I used to do a lot of cycling, I used to do that quite a bit, so I could do that as well. And yeah, so that's what we're looking at now, to have a look and see where some of these distances that we can go to. Now, the whole thing about it is making sure that I'm not doing it where there's a lot of lights. So I don't like to stop, or I try not to stop. And that's why the Bondi to Manly is good, because you don't stop at lights at any point in time. And these other runs as well, obviously doing a loop of the 1K track or even the 7K track, there's no lights. So that's the whole purpose of me looking for these runs. As I've been looking at it now, and there's some runs that are already mapped out that are 100K plus. I'm just looking at one now, which is Bondi to Berry, which is actually this year. It's in November, actually. It's actually last month. So this run is... Oh, I've actually gone back there. So this run, I think, was 150K, 160K. Okay, we're in Sydney. Let's have a look. Search. There's 107K one there. That goes all around the suburbs. I don't know about that one. 157k. So that's a Bondi to Berry. It's a ride. So it's not a run, it's a ride. But it's 157, and if I want to do this goal, I could be doing 160, which would be in July, August. Right, so that could come in handy. But once again, there's lights involved as well. There's a 202 kilometer ride here. Once again, it's sort of in the middle of Sydney, so you're going to have to stop at traffic lights quite often, which might not be too bad if you're running that long of a distance. That might be alright. So let me put in here at least 100 kilometers, and let's see what we come up with. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 800k. There's quite a few. Okay, and I've got the points here that we can do them. Alright, let's have a look. So that's again going south around the city. That's 107. We've got a Hornsby Bobo White 100. So there's a ride that I did that was from Hornsby that went all the way out to Dural, Cullyville, and that was a good one. There was quite a few hills in there because I want to do trail running more so than just running flat surface. Long C2K run. Okay, so there's quite a few here that I can look into to find, because like I said, I have probably 4 or 5 that I can do off the top of my head. I could also do the Bondi to Manly and go reverse, which will be pretty good. Yeah, definitely making sure that if you're going to do things like this, you want to map it out, especially if you have it over a 12-month period. You can break it down to 90-day plans, 60-day, 30-day plans if you like. But to have the whole thing set out, ready to go, I think is really good. Just behind you there, on my framed yearly calendar for 2024, I've already got the dates of these runs mapped out, okay, put in place for where I want them to be. And I think an important thing I have to say as well, there's a few of them that are actual events. So majority of the runs won't be events, they're ones that I'm just going to do, and the other ones are actual proper events. Okay, so 12 100 kilometer runs, stretch goal, we're adding 10k every run. So we finish on 220 at the end of the year. Okay, let me actually make sure that's correct. So we're going to go 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. No, it's 110. No, 210k, which will be the last one, which will probably take 2 days. So that's a goal. So as I can see here on Map My Run, there are some that are there that I can look at. I won't bore you with me looking at it and trying to suss it out. But yeah, again, I just want to explain to you what the goal is, what the stretch goal is, and what I'm looking to do and where I'm looking to do it. Let's hope we can find some good tracks. I think the hardest part's going to be through winter. We're going to have to obviously wear a lot more when we do that. I like running in the heat, so that doesn't bother me. But here's to 2024. Okay, it's 2 weeks until the end of the year for 2023, and what you should be doing at the moment now is start to get your goals set. I did a podcast recently on my Lessons Learned podcast on Spotify where I spoke about the end of year audit. We are auditing your year, right? And the second part of that is going to be start setting up your goals and start writing out your goals by having a calendar, by researching and doing hard shit and making yourself proud, because that's what the purpose of it is, right? So yeah, I'll jump onto this, keep looking, and I'll update you throughout. I'll obviously be putting it on social media, through YouTube, my whole journey through doing these runs, Instagram, and obviously with my podcast as well. I'll probably talk about the runs as I go through. So do hard shit, make yourself proud, and I'll see you on the next vlog. Let's go.